What? Hey there. Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I am your host, Liz. And I'm joined by my co-host, Mark. You got anything? All right.
Hi, welcome to the Pinfall Podcast.
So today it's Friday. Yay, Friday. I've got a beer with a fancy label on it. That's why I bought it. And I got another beer with a fancy label on it. And that's why I bought it. God. It's Friday. I'm tired. Oh yeah, my dad got you that.
Yeah, it's been on the floor
That one
under my
coaster.
desk for almost a year.
You just got a new
Under my old desk. It was under that desk for like a year.
Oh shit, I should mute the game.
Probably. This is a wrestling podcast, not baseball.
Oh god, I'm fucking glad for that too, aren't I? Because if it were a baseball podcast, I'd be screaming right now. Because, you know. Anyways, so tonight it is Friday. In case you did not realize, it is Friday. Happy Friday. Take a shot every time I say Friday. Tonight we're talking about Smackdown.
Woo!
And it was an episode of Smackdown, that's for goddamn sure.
Woo! That ending.
Dude, that ending hurt me. That ending hurt me.
Jay almost made me cry.
That ending 100% was like, hey, I know that you've kind of been like checking out for 90% of the show and you definitely don't remember the first half of it. But do you want to remember the last 3 minutes of it for the rest of your goddamn life so you can cry every night? And I said, no, I don't really want that. And then Paul Heyman said, fuck you. And I said, oh.
No, more like Jey Uso said, fuck you.
Actually, at the end of the day, it was kind of Roman.
No, Jay, when he was like left in the ring alone, looking all sad, and then he was like, why not me?
Actually, quite specifically, I believe he said, what if you're wrong? And I said,
oh, yeah.
Jay, we don't have time for this. But in fact, we actually had 4 minutes, so we had plenty of time for this. All right. It's a big news day. We actually have a major announcement at the end of the news segment.
Also,
massive.
Stick around.
Huge.
Stick around for our Clash of Champions predictions, which we will give after the bests of the night.
Yes. But yeah, so do you want to jump into the news right now? Because big announcement, big fucking announcement, huge goddamn scoop. Not really, but it's a big announcement.
No, let's go on to the main event.
We do this 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And 3 times a week, my heart gets fucking broken.
And one day, both days this week, I wasn't here. Or 1.5.
Yeah. Well, you weren't here for the news for the last 2 days,
yeah,
so.
Thank God.
Fucking commitment issues, I guess. Anyways, jump into the news.
Sure.
I have acid reflux.
That's nice.
Yeah, in case you're wondering. What is your problem today, buds? There we go.
Can we get an applause in the chat for Liz's acid reflux?
Woo! All right. No, that's a little too far. There we go. Okay. None of the news has to do with AEW, sort of, kind of. It sort of does, actually, but not in a negative way. It's not about Chris Jericho. How's that? So, fun things. Shawn Michaels will be at NXT next week for some goddamn reason. I don't really know why.
Because he works
luckily
there.
Well, yeah, I mean, so the thing is that, like, it was news, and I was like, well, he technically, I guess, should be there. Because it's his job. But I guess he's going to be in the ring doing something. hopefully telling Adam Cole that he's a great wrestler and that he loves him.
No.
Okay, fair enough. NXT training was halted because of COVID, which is not shocking, considering the fact that Raw Underground has a bunch of NXT trainees not wearing masks. But in addition to that, apparently it is rumored that this outbreak, at least with NXT, started because somebody in NXT had a goddamn party.
Probably Austin Theory.
Oh, see, I was blaming Damian Priest because he had the hot tub party, and I figured that there was an after party after that after party.
I have a feeling it was still Austin Theory.
Oh, yeah, I'll vibe with it. But this is a much bigger COVID outbreak than we've had in the beginning.
What if it was Bobby Fish?
How dare you? Bobby Fish didn't have a party. Bobby Fish is MIA.
Because of COVID.
Bobby Fish has 2 children. He is not partying.
I would beg to differ. I feel like he'd want a party to get away from his children.
No, if Bobby Fish is anything like I expect any upstate New Yorker to be, he goes home and he's like, that's good. He reads books for a hobby, Mark. And it's not even like books. It's like when he was on Up, Up, Down, Down, he was talking about how he's like reading this like self-help inspirational book. So it doesn't strike me as the partier.
At a party, he was reading that.
He's just sitting in a corner like, interesting. But this outbreak is much bigger than it was earlier in the pandemic. Apparently this has affected WWE, AEW. It sounds like it's impacted Impact. As well as a lot of like the other indie circuits and stuff like that. And that's not to say that the outbreak in NXT was specifically the source of everyone else's problems, considering, that wrestling is not just in Florida. But not great. A lot worse than a lot of people have seen it, so vibes. In addition to NXT, apparently there's a Wrestle Talk put out a list of potential people in that weird-ass NXT ad. Most likely contenders at this point are Bo Dallas, Eric from Viking Raiders,
Wouldn't make any sense.
and Robert
though.
Roode.
Eric wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, have my phone recognize my face for a second there.
Because the whole thing was like, he's getting his title back, or they're getting their title back, because we're not sure if it's a man or a woman. Eric never had an NXT title.
This is just their most realistic candidates. Yeah, it's Bo Dallas, Eric. They do say that this is less likely, but he is a former tag team champion, and his tag partner Ivar is going to be out for at least a year due to neck surgery. And then Robert Roode.
Okay.
And then they released a list of other people that it could possibly be, including Aleister Black, Andrade, Angel Garza, Angela Dawkins, Asuka, Bayley, Big E, Charlotte Flair, Drew McIntyre, Ember Moon, Ivar, Jason Jordan, Kalisto, Keith Lee, Kevin Owens, Matt Riddle, Montez Ford, Murphy, Paige, Ricochet, Sammy, Samoa Joe, Sasha Banks, Seth, Shayna Baszler, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Wesley Blake.
So basically the entire goddamn roster.
Yeah. One of the final lines in this article is, well, that took ages, so if I miss someone, well, oops.
There's literally only 2 people could be, and it's either Bo Dallas or Paige. More than likely Bo Dallas.
I thought it was Paige because it sounded like a woman. It looked like, I know it was voice distorted, but it looked like a woman. Immediately, I thought it was Io for some fucking reason. I thought it was just a weird Io Shirai promo because a lot of Io's promos have not been her actually speaking to the camera.
You
just been narrated by her.
You thought it was Io because of the jacket.
Well, yeah, that certainly didn't help.
I don't know. I'm hoping it's Paige. Paige would be awesome. I have no opinion on Bo
I'm
Dallas.
gonna be
So
sad if it's Robert Roode.
why?
Well, because if Robert returns, I want him to be with Dolph.
Fair. It would give
Yeah.
Dolph something. Dolph's got nothing right now.
Besides goddamn Raw Underground. So, in addition to that, Chelsea Green has COVID, or did have COVID. Is recovered from COVID. It's not really that important of news, but whatever. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H sold their stocks, or sold part of, 43% of their stocks or something, because they want to buy a new house.
Okay. Good investment.
On top of that, we now know that there's been a little update to the whole Jackson Riker situation, which is at this time, on the internal WWE roster, Blake and Cutler are both listed on that roster. Jackson Riker is not. So
he might have been relegated to NXT.
Well, this is the WWE roster. I think it includes everybody.
Oh, does it?
Because it's the internal roster. Yeah. Basically, what it sounds like is their payroll.
Okay.
So interesting. It would be interesting to see them come back because apparently there has been more rumors that God, stupid goddamn Yankees.
Nice.
Anyways, now that I've been disappointed once tonight, there's rumors that Forgotten Sons are coming back, but it looks like it probably will be Blake and Cutler repackaged.
Good. They got to get rid of the whole veteran shtick that
they can do veteran. They just have to slightly redirect it.
Yeah.
Like in their diatribes, just let it be like, we've been forgotten by everybody, including the government that we fought for, or some shit like that. Like,
what if they spin it to where they're leading Retribution?
Okay. All right.
I could vibe with that because it's like, like veterans are pissed off at the government for not caring about them. They're pissed off at WWE for not caring about them.
I also do want to say that on my end of things, this is a pro Retribution podcast because I got to look at T-Bar and Mace's and Slapjack's Twitters, and I think that they're goddamn fucking funny, and I respect the hell out of the fact that, because like originally their tweets were very like serious, and now it's just the three of them talking amongst amongst each other, and making dumb fucking jokes, and I love it. I'm living for it.
Yeah, their Twitters have been the best Retribution content that's ever come out. But speaking of Retribution, I've got a little bit of news. There have been, like, I guess leaks of what Mia Yim's and Mercedes Martinez's Retribution names are or were supposed to be. Huh?
AIMOA message.
Yes.
Not the Madden.
IHOP. Let me try and find it right. Next to this.
Flapjack, hijack, lowjack.
Okay.
And pepperjack.
And jackhammer. So there was a bunch of trademarks filed, which included Slapjack, T-Bar, and Mace. And in that same trademark were two more names, which were Reckoning and Retaliation. Nowhere Retribution. So Revenge is next. Restitution. Revitalization. Rest. Repopulation. Recycling.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. A new trio.
A stable. Also, in addition to that, on NXT, we saw Candice LeRae beating up Tegan Nox. and she was kind of favoring that knee of hers. And it turns out that she actually suffered an injury. She had a torn ACL from that. And that only adds to a couple more injuries from that night, which are both from Cameron Grimes and Austin Theory.
Not going to the moon.
No super specifics on what those were. One of them was back spasms. Didn't specify who had it, and I think the other one was like a tight calf or something. Something like that. Again, not specifying.
It's starting to sound like the New York Yankees.
Not specifying who had what, but yeah. Hopefully they recover. And we get to see Cameron Grimes.
You know who I'd like to see recover?
Xavier Woods.
Dexter Loomis.
Yeah.
How much longer do I have to wait?
Do you have any more news for us tonight?
I do. I have the biggest piece of news, the big scoop.
It's this podcast is canceled. Good night, everybody.
It's not.
So what's the news?
The news. Let me get my legs out. Let me push my microphone back just a little bit.
Oh boy.
The news. Folks, I know that we've all been waiting for this. I know that we've been waiting for this for months since I started talking about it. I know. You've been waiting. You've had bated breath, right? You wanted to know when the goddamn hell are the Mike Romies happening?
I don't think anyone's been wondering that.
Christ, let me get through this. Oh my god, the last sip of beer is literally always trash. Oh,
it is.
Oh, it's like the whole beer's great, and then you get to that last sip. I could have chugged the whole thing. I got to the last sip, and I'd be like. Anyways, I know everyone's been waiting to find out, and I have great news. We are finally announcing the Mike Romies are happening on December 19th. Which means we effectively have no free weekends all of December. It's gonna rock. Get your fucking party hats on. The Mike Romies is gonna be a fun night between fucking I think there's a takeover happening on the 4th, and there's a TLC happening on the 23rd. Something like that. Something like that's happening.
Can we try and get Mike Rome to host the Mike Romies? Like, can everyone in the chat tweet at him and ask him politely to please host the Mike Romey Awards, which are the most prestigious award in professional wrestling.
Right. I mean, I would also just take like a shout out. I don't know if we can afford Mike Rome.
A retweet.
Hosting the Mike Romies. Yeah. Just like a little smile, maybe. That'd be cool. But this award show is dedicated to the utmost top performer in current announcing history.
Greg Hamilton.
Mike Rome. God, don't do that to me. Dedicated to Mike Rome, my favorite. It is a night of, if you watch this podcast and you're like, man, that was an awesome 2.5 hours of Liz and Mark talking about their opinions, and you wanted an extra night of that, this is what it's going to be. It's us giving awards based on some of Mark's stats, which are actually like genuine bona fide awards.
Liz, you're turning him away. You're turning him away.
But also, we're going to do who I've challenged to fight the most. It's definitely Corey Graves.
Oh, man.
I don't remember half of the goddamn topics that we talked about, but
it was you had my stuff, which was the most wins, the most losses, the most title wins, stuff like that. Who you'd want to fight the most. I'm
lagging because I'm pulling it up.
Okay.
All right. So far, the categories that we have are best overall performer this year, best tag team, best one-off tag team, best feud, Best Cinematic, Best Pay-Per-View, Best Brand, Best Female Performer, Best Male Performer, Best SmackDown Performer, all the brands. Pettiest Promo or Series of Promos, Best Randy Orton Punt.
We should also add...
I think...
Sorry, we should also add that this is just WWE, not AEW included or any other independent circuit, because we can't cover all that in a podcast.
Yeah, no, that's why it's called the Mike Romies and not the Mike Romies, Chris Jericho's, and whatever.
Do you think Chris Jericho just like runs AEW all by himself?
Tony Khan would never let that happen. I don't even know anything about AEW, but I know that for a fact. But yeah, so we've got a lot of like statistic-based winners, but we're gonna dress up. We're gonna have fun. The first topics that I covered here, that's all Mark. And then I come up with topics. And there's definitely going to be a best Claymore kick somewhere in there. It's going to be great. Probably the messiest fucking thing that happened in WWE. I'm going to try to find that one. It's going to be fun. I think you're going to have fun. So tune in, December 19th. I won't stop talking about it, so you can't forget.
So do you want to move on to matches and promos?
Oh yeah, we're still doing a podcast?
Yeah, kinda. Again, stay tuned till after the show, after the best of the night, for our predictions for Clash of Champions.
You gotta start getting your Michael Cole voice on when you do that.
Stay tuned for after the show for our predictions for Clash of Champions.
There you go. Alright, so matches and promos. We started with...
Me.
Something. Yeah, you.
So we started off with AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, and Jeff Hardy in the ring. Kind of having a little face-off. And then it turns out they're doing an Ascension ceremony. Which basically means the match, like the triple threat ladder match Sunday, is going to be a winner-take-all, which is both Sami Zayn's and Jeff Hardy's Intercontinental titles, I guess. They will both be at the top of the ladder. And they basically just rose it up today. And then Sami Zayn drops a ladder on both of them. Tries to walk out of the ring. And then Adam Pearce was like, whoa. Hold on, Buster. Because of that, we're adding AJ Styles to your match. Because apparently it was supposed to be Sami Zayn versus Jeff Hardy later that night. And at that moment, it became a triple threat. Basically just teasing Sunday. And then we move into the actual triple threat.
This was one of those matches, too, where like I sat back and I was like, why are we doing this?
You actually thought that the triple threat was today.
No, well, I guess I was just confused. I don't know how to explain it, and I don't know, maybe my brain just like turned off and I like lost the functional bits for that. But I knew the title match was not today.
Yeah.
I knew that. I was just confused as to why. Like, I kind of understood the Sammy Jeff thing because I was like, well, yeah, because you guys actually have the titles.
Yeah.
So. And then they brought AJ in, and I was like, well, why am I just watching the same match that I'm about to watch 2 days from now?
Because there were no ladders involved. No ladders.
Well, there was.
No height. There were ladders on the outside. They didn't use them in the ring. I don't think.
Goddamn no. Anyways. So Jeff slams Sammy into the canvas, sends a knee into his little ginger face. Sammy gets a basement dropkick off on AJ. Jeff then punches AJ a little bit, throws him into the ropes, and then tries to run at him, but Jeff kind of gets his little leggies up. Then AJ throws Jeff from the ring, slams his poor concussed noggin into the announce table. Sammy attacks AJ from behind while he does this. Then he throws AJ back into the ring. He punches him a little bit, stomps on him. And there's a clothesline to AJ from Sammy. Jeff is trying to get up, but Sammy punches him off the apron. AJ runs Sammy into the corner and then wrenches him into the canvas, gets him into a little headlock. Jeff is once again trying to get back into the ring, and AJ throws Sammy into him. Once more, sending him off the apron. AJ then throws Sammy out of the ring. Jeff gets in, is kind of doing the most, but also the least at the same goddamn time because it's Jeff Hardy. Jeff goes for the double axe handle to Sammy, and then a double dropkick on Sammy and AJ. Jeff jumps off of Sammy, like Sammy's like ducked down, jumps off of him to splash AJ in the corner. Gets up to the top rope to break his back just one more goddamn time for the fun of it. Sammy pushes him off to break his back one more goddamn time for the fun of it.
One more time with feeling.
Or maybe lack thereof if he hurts his spine just enough. He is sent to the floor. Sammy begins attacking him outside the ring. AJ gets up, kicks Sammy in the face, and then goes over the top rope onto Sammy. AJ then drops Sammy into the top turnbuckle. Jeff does his stupid whisper in the wind, which is essentially a swan dive, which is essentially his desperate cry to injure his back one more time. Then we get what I like seeing this from AJ, which I hate saying, but I love when AJ does his little Pele kicks. They're so sweet. He Pele kicks Sammy, and then he drops Jeff's neck into the rope. A phenomenal forearm goes to Jeff, and Sammy decides to capitalize on that goddamn shit, covering and winning. AJ then smacks Sammy in the back with a ladder and runs at Jeff with the ladder as well. As we cut away to go to commercial, Jeff is somehow now between the two legs of the ladder. That wasn't where he ended up. He kind of just crawled in there, I guess, for safety. Don't really know why. It was a really weird transition. I'm so tired of Jeff Hardy. I could scream. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Hell yeah. Was that the end of the fight?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know.
So after that, we had a little interview with Otis and Tucky, by Kayla, I think. And then The Miz and Morrison come out, and I didn't listen to a lot of what was going on, I gotta be honest. But Otis tried to attack Miz twice. And I don't know, it was all just shit talking, legal stuff. But towards the end, Miz said, "It's my name written on the lawsuit, not John Morrison's."
Miz doesn't say that. Tucky does.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah.
So
he points it out.
Tucky says that, and so he attacks John Morrison because they can. And then after that, we had Bailey coming out into the ring.
The most unfulfilling promo.
With the chair, sits in the chair on the ramp and talks. And that's it. She didn't say much. And then she was out. So after that, we move on to you.
Yes, we do. I just have to say that was like the most pathetic promo. Because, like, you're sitting at the top of the fucking ring. You didn't even make it to the goddamn ring. I kind of thought that, like, we were going to get someone attacking her. Because, you know, she's got a fight in a pay-per-view. But we didn't see Nikki at all tonight, actually. Weirdly enough. Anyways, we then get Lucha House Party. More specifically, Grand Metalik versus Shinsuke, in case you wanted to see this fight for the 41th time. Grand Metalik avoids Shinsuke's clothesline, arm drags him, sending him out of the ring. Shinsuke then sends Grand Metalik into the barricade twice. Runs into his face while Grand Metalik is on the apron, which I don't really know what that does, besides just kind of as a nuisance. Shinsuke is then just kind of kicking Grand Metalik, gets an arm sub on him. Grand Metalik punches out. Then Shinsuke runs at Grand Metalik into the bottom turnbuckle, kicks him in the little noggin. And Grand Metalik then slaps the absolute piss out of Shinsuke. We get a front face lock on Grand Metalik and failed moonsault. Shinsuke pulls off his exploder, Kinshasa's Grand Metalik, and Shinsuke then wins. Then Cesaro slams Lindsay into the canvas, and Kalisto does nothing about it at all. And Lindsay is kind of pissed off about this because Kalisto finally does get into the ring after Cesaro and Shinsuke leave, and checks on Grand Metalik, but not Lindsay. And Lindsay, bastard of a man, just goes like,
I thought he was just holding his head because he was in pain.
oh, I thought he was about to take his mask off because Kalisto was like, hey, no.
There was that reaction.
I was like, but what if he did?
He will.
What if he did what he's been promising for 3 weeks now?
It hasn't. I think it's been 3 weeks.
It's been 3 weeks.
What?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
So after that, we had Jey Uso in the ring.
No, wait, can you please talk about him outside of the ring before we cut to commercial?
Alright, well, so he's knocking on Roman's door. He's just knocking and knocking and knocking and knocking. My neighbors are probably super pissed right now. Yeah. Couldn't understand what he was saying.
He was basically just asking Roman to come out, but while being the most obnoxious bastard about it. I was like, rockin', brother, I love it.
And then so when we cut back from commercial, Jey Uso's in the ring, and he wants to talk about some serious stuff. He had people asking him about the look, which was the look that Roman gave him last week after they had their match, after they hugged. Roman kind of gave him like the evil eyes, the hungry eyes. And Jay just wants to know what's up. And then we cut to Roman, who's just in his green room with Paul, kind of just watching, not really doing anything. And then Paul Heyman walks out of the locker room, green room, whatever, talking to Kayla. And basically not just doing Paul Heyman things, just like dancing around the subject, you know, avoiding answering, stuff like that. And Jay's not happy about it. And that's basically it. But then we get a promo after that with Corbin. Don't remember what this promo was, really. I think it was like a talking head style interview kind of promo where Corbin was just talking about Matt Riddle, I think. Yeah. Let's just go with that. Just doing Corbin things, talking shit. And now we're up to you with Matt Riddle versus Corbin.
Right. So we got, in addition to that, prior to the Corbin promo, we got a little conversation with Michael Cole talking about how Corbin had acted at Payback, and how he kind of apparently has a fiery temper. Which I was like, well, it's just a sore loser, but that's fine. So yeah, we had Corbin versus Matt Riddle. Riddle immediately attacks Corbin and then kicks him, sending him over the ropes. Corbin gets back into the ring, but in spite of all the slugging he does, and the fact that he's way too strong to let Riddle do a takedown on him, Matt Riddle just kind of showed him up for a hot minute there. It was not looking good for Corbin at all. Even though he did the little fucking thing so fucking fast outside the damn ring. God damn it. Riddle kicks Corbin hard, so hard, that he goes out of the ring again. And he then throws him over the announce desk and kind of dances around on the papers. And I said, oh my God, you're not wearing shoes. Please be careful. You're going to slip and crack your fucking head open. Corbin is then in a triangle lock. He's kind of trying to curl Riddle to force him off. Does so, slams him down to the canvas. Charles Robinson, referee extraordinaire, love my life. He gets to the 2 count with Riddle being covered. And at least another count and a half passes where Charles is just kind of sitting there like, I don't remember what my job is anymore. Whoops. Which Corbin isn't too pleased about. Corbin then starts choking Matt Riddle against the ropes. Matt Riddle sends some knees to Corbin's face, elbows him a little bit, and then gets a nasty fucking suplex. I don't know if it was a German suplex or an exploder suplex, because he usually does the exploder suplex. Corbin then avoids the running knee and a moonsault, but he ends up falling victim to a senton and then another running knee. And then we get the deep 6, because goddamn, we've been waiting months for this to happen. Corbin punches Riddle mid-air, and then, Lord have mercy, we got an end of days. Or actually, no, we didn't get an end of days yet. I take that back. I retract my statement. The end of days is countered. I felt absolutely cockblocked. Riddle knees Corbin in the face, does the floating bro, but right onto Corbin's little knees, and then we get the end of days. And I said, I'm satisfied. Yeah. And then we jump into Lacey versus Alexa, which was about as fulfilling as, like, a glass of almond milk.
Well, we had a little interview with Matt Riddle in the ring.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
He was like, I may have lost, but I'm not done. I've got a lot more, which I think that kind of wraps up the whole Corbin versus Riddle feud. Basically pushing Matt Riddle into something bigger. Probably Universal title push or Intercontinental title push. Or possibly a Raw move. Depending on, how soon the draft is.
I doubt that they would move him after bringing him up just a couple months ago. I think that'd be kind of crazy. I think the only reason that they would do it...
More than a couple months ago.
Okay, well, one way or the other, I don't think that they would, like, bring him up from NXT, then shove him right back down to Raw. I don't think that would do them any favors right now. Especially when you've got people like AJ who are desperate to move over to Raw, and it's pretty apparent.
Yeah.
For, like, personal reasons, so... But anyways, let's jump into Alexa versus Lacey.
We had one more thing. We had the mystery girl, again, with no new information whatsoever, except unbelievable, which is what I like to say. Oh, untouchable. Never mind. I was going to make a joke, but no, I'm not. Untouchable.
Yeah, and then she takes a picture with her with a old Polaroid camera, which just felt like a very weird contrast to the rest of the gimmick that they've been kind of pushing.
Mm-hmm.
But we then have Alexa versus Lacey. Alexa rolls Lacey up several times, unsuccessfully. Lacey sends some knees into Alexa Bliss and then gets her in a chin lock. Bliss just kind of fucking punches Lacey after she hears a little too much shit talk. Lacey is wrenched into the ground by Alexa. She tries to moonsault onto Alexa. Doesn't really work that well. Lacey slams Alexa into the turnbuckle and then kicks her in the face, then kind of does an over the rope top drop kick to Alexa. It was kind of weird. It was kind of cool. It was like a perpendicular 619 in a weird way. Then there's a clothesline to Lacey, and Alexa does her little slap, which that's fine.
I thought she didn't.
She slaps her. It was sort of it, but it wasn't quite, I guess. Then there's a basement dropkick to Lacey. Alexa is very confused and cannot. Sorry, I missed one note here. We hear Bray Wyatt's laughter, or the Fiend's laughter, leaving Alexa confused and I guess dazed, which she was showing at least 40% more emotion than she ever has the last few times the Fiend's name has even been so much as mentioned. And now she's hearing his voice, and she's just like, she can't manage to pull off the gay Sister Abigail. But she does manage to avoid a top rope moonsault. We get the Bray Wyatt music that transitions out just so cleanly. And by that, I mean, we hear it and then it's just, it's gone. Mid note. There was no fade. The guy just said, and end.
He's just
eating my job today.
He's eating a chili dog in the booth. I was like, fuck, I forgot to change it.
Shit. And at that, Alexa goes absolutely out of her fucking brain. She just starts hauling off on Lacey, ends up getting DQ'd after not stomping on her. Then she gets Lacey out of the ring and she kisses her, does a little Sister Abigail. Michael Cole says, "What the hell is going on?" I said, "That's a vibe." And then with the most perfect timing, as I'm sure it was perfect timing, but it didn't seem normal at first. As Alexa Bliss is walking out in her like sort of dazed and confused fashion, Roman also comes out, and at first it was like, interactions?
Kinda.
Tall and small again? Yeah, it was just Roman staring straight ahead, absolutely paying no mind to her, because he was like, "You are below 5'1". I don't recognize you as a person."
You could step on her.
He definitely could. And he just holds up the title. Like, "Hey, I'm here, guys." And Alexa Bliss is like, "That is Papa's title. That is not yours." And then we go into the most painful goddamn fucking promo of the night.
So, Roman's in the ring, was preceded by the last thing. He's with Paul Heyman, and then before he can say a single word, Jey Uso comes out, and they're butting heads in the ring. But Roman is kind of leading the little feud. He's saying that how Jey is one half of the greatest tag team of this generation. But when it comes to like putting food on the table, that's all Roman, because he's the guy. He's the man. And so Roman walks out of the ring with Paul, leaving Jey. What?
I was just gonna say that's also important to note that Roman was like, "I know you want this title, but at the same time, like, this puts a massive target on your back. Like, do you really want that?"
And then Jey's left in the ring, all alone, looking down. And then you just hear, "What if you're wrong?" And he says, what if I do beat you?" And then he says that when people see Roman, they see the Universal Champion, the big dog, Roman Reigns. And when they see Jey, they say, "Which one are you?" And that moment, I just wanted to cry. Jey just like broke my heart when he said that.
I was like, "Dude, I already made my predictions for Clash. Don't do this to me. I just don't want to take a shot, man."
And then, yeah, so he said he can provide for his family too, on his own. And then Roman walks out. Jey leaves the ring, walks up the ramp, turns around, and then suddenly is Superman punched by Roman Reigns, who then bends down to his face and says, "I'm the one who provides for my family, for your family, for Jimmy's family, for our entire family. I'm the one who provides for that because I have to." And the end of that promo. Oh god, Clash is gonna break us.
First of all, I want to just mention that Superman punch. 100%, it looked like Roman had come up from a fucking platform. The way he flew down, I was like, "Fuck, were you lurking?"
He's
Damn.
slowly actually becoming Superman.
Fine. Whatever. But the thing that kind of confused me here, and maybe I'm just being an asshole, is that it's like, well, if having the title means that you, Roman, can provide for your family, Jay's family, Jimmy's family, your whole massive extended family, and I guess The Rock can't. I don't know. Maybe he's got other priorities.
He's providing for Samoa Joe's family right now.
Joe hasn't been around in a minute, so maybe that's fair. But when he comes back for that NXT championship, no. But it's just, I don't understand how, okay, well, if Jay gets it, why does that mean that all your families can't still be provided for because the title's still in the family? Just be nice. Be nice. Nice.
Big dog.
And also, we both neglected to mention the promo that had all of the extended Reigns Uso family.
Oh, yeah.
Where now they're pitting, family members against each other, where they're, rooting for Roman or rooting for see, now you got me doing it. Rooting for Jay.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get the entire Uso family, I messed this up before. Anoa'i. We're gonna get
I assume that sounds right.
We're gonna get the entire Anoa'i family involved. We're gonna get Nia Jax's input. We're gonna get Tamina's input, Naomi's input, The Rock's input. The Rock will probably be the WrestleMania crux of this whole storyline. We'll probably get Rikishi involved too. Jimmy, hopefully.
Jimmy's just sitting in his goddamn backyard cutting promos now. I do think that we're going to see The Rock at WrestleMania, though, because, Roman was talking about people complaining about how slow the storylines are, and I was like, we've only had this storyline for a month now. I'm not really complaining. I don't know who the fuck is. If we sat through the Bayley and Sasha storyline, I don't know who's complaining that your storyline has taken too long. But I 100% see, based on SmackDown's, pedigree for stories, I can see this going from, at Clash, we got Jay and Rowe, and then at Hell in a Cell, we'll probably have Jay and Rowe, and then at Survivor Series, we'll probably have some underlying tensions, I'm sure, somewhere.
Jimmy and Rowe.
I imagine that Jimmy will be back by then, if Jimmy's coming back. And then it'll slowly transition into Road to WrestleMania, and then we're going to have Rowe and fucking Rock, and it's going to be a whole fucking thing, and I'm going to get through it.
We might get, in the same way that Paul Heyman is Roman Reigns' manager, or he used a different word for it. Talked about it, I think, on the bump or something. But no, advocate, I think it was, or counsel. But we're probably gonna get, when Jimmy's back, we're probably gonna get Rikishi as their manager. Because he's not wrestling anymore, but as we saw in that promo, he's still, interested in being a part of the universe.
As a sideline, hey bud, you're gonna do great tonight. One and done kind of deals.
I could definitely see Rikishi and Heyman butting heads. That would be pretty cool. And then I wonder if maybe we'll just get Jay as Solo, and then Jimmy as kind of minor Solo, I
wonder if we're ever gonna get Jimmy.
He's just chopping logs in his backyard like Chris Evans.
Yeah, no, actually, it was funny because Roman did make that comment about people complaining about storylines taking too long. He's like, if you want like fast-paced storylines, go watch Raw. And I was like, Roman, I've been dealing with the same Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio family storyline for the last goddamn 5 months. Do not tell me to go to Raw for shorter storylines. Because if yours is any longer than that one, dear God, we're going to be here for a year before we get a fucking progression.
We're ready to move on. It is the end of the week, so we have our biggest fall and biggest rise in the ranks. And for those who don't know, I have a giant ranked list of every WWE wrestler. And every Friday we go through the biggest fall, biggest rise among those ranks. And today, the biggest rise comes from Raw's own, yes, Liz, Shelton Benjamin, who rose.
Benjamin.
Yeah, Shelton Benjamin.
That's what it sounded like he said.
Because that's how it came out, unfortunately.
Ah.
But he rose 49 ranks after Hurt Business's match with Retribution as the main event. And then the biggest fall was, and from NXT, Raul Mendoza, after his tag team match with Fabian Eichner against Roderick Strong and Danny Burch. That's who it was.
I mean, Robert Strong.
Robert Strong.
Danny Burch.
And yeah, he fell 22 spots in the rankings. Which, it's actually been a minor week in movements. Because normally we get like 70 spots or 100 spots. So, 22 is not bad. And now, our best of the night. Shall we?
Yeah.
Promo of the night. Also, you have the NXT sticker on the best of the night.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Not on top of your game.
Nah, damn. It's been a long week.
It's been a very long week. So we start off with the Ascension ceremony with AJ, Sammy, and Jeff. One of the better promos of tonight. It makes me excited for the triple threat at Clash. Sammy's great, AJ is good, and Jeff is alright. Jeff kind of has that personality that contrasts with AJ and Sammy real well. Then we had the Otis and Tucky interview, which it was alright. It was not adding a whole lot. We didn't even get a fight out of it tonight. Then we had Bailey talking in a chair on the ramp, which God knows that added nothing. Then we had Jey Uso talking in the ring right after slamming on Roman's door. The start to what would be a heartbreak to everyone. And then we had the promo with Corbin that was pretty lame. I don't even remember a single thing from that promo. Then we had Matt Riddle right after the match saying how he's going to rise from the ashes like a phoenix. Like a shoeless phoenix.
Oh my god.
Then we had the mystery girl. Again, I'm tired of it. We're not getting any new information, any new teases or anything, just the same stuff over and over. And then we had Roman and Jay in the most heartbreaking thing since Bailey destroyed Sasha. So yeah, that's my pick. Roman and Jay face to face.
Yeah, I have to go with you on that one. That hurt me. That hurt me so bad. Because at first I was like, oh, we're just gonna get like another family's so important, blah 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 promo or something like that. And then we got what we got, and I was like,
That means more than family.
I was like, that hurt me. Damn, Ro. So I agree with you.
Yeah. I'm still kind of like trying to register all of it right now.
I told you too. I was like, damn, Roman looks like he's gonna fucking kill Jay. And you were like, no, I think he's just coming to terms with the fact that he's gotta kill Jay. And I was like, it looks like he wants to though. And you were like, I don't know. And now we know. You were so optimistic, Mark.
Yeah. I try to be. But fighter of the night?
Yeehaw, cowpoke.
So we started with AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn versus Jeff Hardy. Match. I picked Jeff Hardy for this, just because Sammy and AJ weren't really doing much. Jeff was the only one really like, going kind of above and beyond at the very least with his stuff, putting in any real effort. Not to say Sammy and AJ didn't. I noticed Sammy like put in the effort character-wise, but obviously we want to save all of like the big fighting and the impressive stuff for Clash. So yeah, Jeff is my pick for that fight. And then after that we had Grand Metalik versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I was very much into this fight. I thought it was really good. I was really liking how Shinsuke was performing. And I picked him for this fight. Because, Grand Metalik didn't do much. He had, like, maybe one or two flying head scissors. Shinsuke was dominant in the fight. He looked great. And he kind of added his personality to it, where he was just there to have fun. Like, he wasn't trying so hard. He was just messing with Grand Metalik, basically. And this match kind of makes me think that Grand Metalik might leave Lucha House Party, leaving Lindsay and Kalisto to fight at Clash, and for them to lose because of their differences, and Lindsay to finally take off his mask when he can't handle Kalisto anymore.
See, the vibe I'm getting is more so that Kalisto's gonna walk away. Because I feel like Lindsay's going to push him out, and then that's going to lead to dissent between him and Grand Metalik, where it's like, Grand Metalik's like, hey, it's kind of your fault that he left. Like, I get that it's his fault, but it's also kind of your fault.
I don't know. The vibe I'm getting is just like, it's been Kalisto and Lindsay just arguing behind Grand Metalik the whole time. Like, he's been the one fighting constantly, while the two of them have just been arguing. And that's going to tip him off at some point.
I don't think that I really get more of a vibe, and if you want, we can add this to our predictions. I get a vibe that we're gonna see either Lindsay and Grand Metalik or Kalisto and Grand Metalik at the end of the day. Now, I might be more astute to say that we're going to see Lindsay leaving Kalisto and Grand Metalik behind, because Lindsay was the one who threatened to remove his mask.
Grand Metalik just seems like he's just there. Like he's
trying.
He's just there to fight.
He's the Virgo of the group.
I think he's going to join Artists of Pain.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Or whatever. It's Artist something versus Art and Shinsuke. The Artist Collective, yeah. I'm thinking Authors of Pain.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait, I don't think that's what the A stands for in AOP.
But yeah, anyway, that's that fight. I picked Shinsuke. And then we had Matt Riddle versus Corbin, which was surprisingly really good for Corbin, not so great for Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle didn't look amazing. Corbin looked fantastic. Corbin looked on top of his game, and at the end of the day, it was a win for him, which was much needed, and he looked great doing it. We got to see an end of days, we got to see a deep six, we got to see his weird running around the corner post. This was basically a Corbin highlight reel, and he looked fantastic while doing it. I hope this is the end of the storyline so that we can kind of end on a high note for Corbin, and he can move on to other things, wrecking baby faces with Sheamus. And yeah, obviously I picked Corbin for this. I think he was the most solid one in this fight. In my eyes, he didn't have any flaws. Yeah, he was fantastic today. And then we had Alexa Bliss versus Lacey Evans. And I know you'll disagree me with this pick, but I'm going to go with Lacey Evans here. I think as far as the majority of the fight goes, Lacey Evans was on top and looking great. Even if she wasn't winning for most of the fight, she was still performing her best for most of the fight. And we got to see a good mix of her character with her fighting. With Alexa, it kind of all just popped off at the last second, which is good for that last second, but you have a majority of the fight that was just left waiting. And Lacey Evans looked great before that, and not just like regular, oh, Lacey Evans, you know, she's gonna be her normal Lacey Evans self. No, she actually looked great today. She looked better than normal. And I think today was a really good day for decent wrestlers really going off. But as far as my pick for the overall fighter of the night, I don't know how you'll feel about this, but I'm gonna pick King Corbin. You picked King Corbin too?
Yeah, I really liked him tonight, and I'm really happy that we got to see one, a win from him, and two, a win that wasn't like brought on because he was being like a sneaky little shit or something.
Yeah, this is just
Like he's
straight up
the bottom, dude.
This is him wrestling. That's it.
Yeah, he fought from the fucking bottom. He looked awesome. He sold his fucking moves well, and we also got to see some jabs, which we don't see done very well all the time.
Yeah.
Because either they're sold like a little too hard, and you're like, "Oh no, is that person okay?" Or they're sold horribly, and you're like,
Corbin's really good at selling his jabs. He always does a great job at that.
He is. I really liked watching him today. So actually, it was funny. I thought you were going to say like Grand Metalik or Shinsuke or something like that. But
Shinsuke was a second for me.
That's fair.
The fight of the night?
Yes, I suppose so.
So, again, we started off with AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn versus Jeff Hardy. Kind of just a tease for Sunday's match. There wasn't much here in terms of a fight, but, you know, it makes me excited for what we're going to see. All three are very talented wrestlers, and especially in a ladder match where they added the interesting twist of them having to grab both belts. So we're probably going to have one belt in each person's hands on the mat, and they're scrambling for it, something like that. My thought is it's going to end in Sammy and Jeff, each with their own titles, scrambling. But I'm hoping at the very least we get a kind of resolution on the Intercontinental Championship tournament fiasco with Elias. Maybe he's alive. Who knows? But yeah, it was an okay match. And then we have Grand Metalik versus Shinsuke, which was a great match. Grand Metalik needed to pop off more. You were mostly in this fight for either Shinsuke or what happened after the fight. There wasn't a whole lot during the actual fight for it to be really entertaining, especially considering how short it was. But I'm really glad we got to see a really good Shinsuke, which I'm hoping we get that same Shinsuke that we get at Clash. So yeah, this was better than Triple Threat, but not the best today, I don't think. And then we had Matt Riddle versus King Corbin. Again, the potential for a really good match, but I think we just needed the other half of this match to have been a lot better. If Matt Riddle had popped off and been great, this would have been an amazing match, and it would have felt more like Corbin had like a big challenge, because it didn't seem like Matt Riddle was that much of a challenge to him, even though he pretty much was this entire storyline. Corbin seemed to dominate almost the entire time. But we got to see a Corbin win, which is always good to see. The end was it felt a little ham-fisted with the interview at the end. It very much felt like they were just cramming in a way to transition out of the storyline. So I don't know how to feel about it after that. But after that, we had Alexa Bliss versus Lacey Evans, which I wasn't looking forward too much prior to today. But Alexa Bliss went off for like half of the fight. Lacey Evans went off for the entire fight. And then the end, when we had the Fiend, we had the laughing. I think everything kind of culminated into a really good story fight at the end of the day. The Sister Abigail, loved to see it. And then the ending with Roman coming out, I think, was just the icing on the cake. It tells us exactly what we were to get from this, which is that the Fiend still wants the title and will still go for it. And Alexa Bliss is going to be involved in that one way or another. And Roman just does not care. Roman has other things to worry about. And so I didn't think it was going to be this before the podcast started. But my pick for the fight of the night tonight is Alexa Bliss versus Lacey Evans. No? Yes?
No, dude, nah.
You disagree? Even after the whole Fiend
Ew.
thing?
It just was clunky. The Fiend thing was super clunky. I think my favorite part of it was Alexa Bliss at the end staring down Roman.
I think it would have been less clunky if it wasn't for the commercial breaks. Because you had a commercial break in the middle of one of the Fiend's appearances.
Again, yeah, maybe, but like, I can't be the judge of that because I had to watch the commercial break. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really impressed with anything tonight because it's Smackdown. I'm very rarely impressed with a lot of the stuff that happens on Smackdown. I don't know, dude. Honestly, in a weird way, I almost preferred the triple threat
Really?
over this. Yeah. I just thought that was a lot better fighting. I thought that it was like, it wasn't super distracting the way that they did it. A lot of times with triple threats, they're just like, this is happening here and this is happening here. And I know it's only 3 people, but like, how are you not keeping up? And I'm like,
You see, if you picked any of the other fights, I'd probably concede, but I cannot concede with that one. I thought that fight was just weak all around. That was my least favorite fight today, in all honesty. So I guess we're gonna leave it a tie.
you have to.
So I guess we'll turn to the chat now, if there's anyone there. Who you guys think is the what is the fight of the night for SmackDown tonight, whether it was the triple threat between AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, and Jeff Hardy, or Alexa Bliss versus Lacey Evans. So, not seeing anything in the chat.
Sorry, I thought that said matches and predictions.
No, that's the matches and promos. Are you like on Earth today?
I'm tired, dude. I'm tired as hell. Also, I do want to celebrate one good thing about SmackDown tonight, which is that we didn't see that stupid goddamn coat and that stupid goddamn hat.
We also didn't see Big E.
I know, sad. We'll probably see him at Clash though in like a promo or something.
I don't think so. I don't know. But we're just getting crickets in the chat right now. So we'll take this to Twitter. See what everyone thinks between these two fights. So, oh God. Punching my mic now.
Nice.
Okay, so Alexa Bliss versus. Okay. Alright, so now prediction time. Our predictions for Clash of Champions. Do we ever nail down like what our consequence is for not getting predictions right?
Say taking a drink.
Taking a drink, taking a shot, whatever.
I'll do a drink. I won't do a shot.
I'll see how I'm feeling.
We know that.
We got better tequila, so.
It's true.
Alright, so Clash of Champions predictions. Are we doing one by one for each of us, or are we doing our whole list and then
let's do one by one?
Okay. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I will announce the match. You can tell me what you have, and I'll tell you what I have.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so we first have Asuka versus Zelina.
I have, and I'm gonna die on this purely statistical record win-loss hill.
Okay.
I am dying on this hill for Clash, and it may result in a lot of bad predictions like this first one, which in my heart I know what it should be, but I will go the other way. I'm gonna say Zelina Vega for this fight. I want it to be Zelina. I want her to win. I know for a fact this is just a filler match, just a filler challenge for the title. For Peyton to eventually come in and take it. My brain says Asuka to win this, but I'm dying on this hill this time, and I'm going with Zelina Vega.
All right. I made the correct choice, and I chose Asuka. I'm not a fool.
Yeah, smart.
Then we have Bayley versus Nikki.
All right, so there's only one obvious choice, whether it's statistics or no. It's Bayley.
Oh, okay.
Bayley's gonna win this. It's gonna be Bayley beats Nikki. Nikki moves on to other things, and then Sasha comes in and takes the title from Bayley. At probably Hell in a Cell or something. That's the most likely scenario.
So kind of forgot about Hell in a Cell without forgetting about it. I'm going with Nikki. I just don't want to see her disappointed again, dude. It breaks me every goddamn time. If you're gonna die in the Zelina hill, I'm dying on. Well, I'm actually dying on a couple hills, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna die on this one. Because the way I thought about it, I was like, well, I mean, at the end of the day, if Sasha doesn't get her chance to go after the title, like, that's one thing. She can still go after Bayley at Hell in a Cell. But I think you're probably right. I just kind of don't want you to be at all. Because, like, how many times are you going to put Nikki in that position where it's like, oh, you're a good wrestler, but also, you're going to win, babes. You're never gonna win.
How many times are they gonna put every wrestler in every position? Like, how many times are they gonna put Rey Mysterio in fighting for his children's custody, or fighting Seth Rollins, or Dominic fighting Seth Rollins, or Street Profits fighting Angel Andrade, or Matt Riddle and King Corbin? You know?
Hey, you got points. You got points. I don't know, man. However, time will tell. We now have Drew versus Randall.
Again, dying on that hill. I know after the last Raw, Drew's jaw got like smashed in by the chair from Randy. But I am going with Drew, but I have a little backing for this.
Oh, god damn it.
Because Randy was demolished by Keith. I think twice. And Drew beat Keith the last time and was kind of dominating the time before that. So there is reason to believe that he would beat Randy this time. I'm hoping Drew will win. As far as the storyline we've been leading up to this whole time, probably not. But I'm dying on the Drew McIntyre retaining hill.
Yeah, this is another hill that I'm dying on. So wait, can I ask what your stipulation is in layman's terms here? Because you said a lot there.
My stipulation?
Well, you said you're gonna add something to your prediction, or was that just your reasoning?
That was just my reasoning.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm dying on the Drew McIntyre hill here. I didn't choose him last time around because I didn't think he was going to win, and I had work the next day, and I didn't want to be drinking that much. But because I'm being very confident with the rest of my predictions, I'm going with Drew. I'm going down. I'm going down with him. It's going to be a painful day.
Oh, yeah.
But the way I look at it is I'm going to be drinking if he wins, I'm going to be drinking if he doesn't. So, vibes. Then we have Roman versus Jay.
No matter what way you look at it, there's one choice, and that's Roman. Roman, it fits the storyline at large. It fits his win-loss. It fits everything. Roman's gonna destroy Jay. It's gonna be like the shortest main event we've ever seen. So yeah.
Yeah, I chose Roman too. I feel like you'd have to be a goddamn fool, or maybe like Jey Uso's mother, to pick Jay at this point.
Or Jimmy.
Unfortunately, I think that. I mean, even then, I think that Jimmy will, or not Jimmy. I think Jay will potentially reach a point where we might be picking him, but it's not this time.
Yeah. Maybe Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. I think that because he only got this push like a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it'd be like a little out of the blue for Roman to get the title. Jay gets the push like 5 seconds later, and then Jay has the title suddenly out of nowhere after being like basically invisible for the past however many months.
Yeah.
So then we have Nia and Shayna versus Riot Squad. I think I know what you're gonna pick here.
Statistically, again, I'm dying on this hill. I'm dying on this hill. I don't want to die on this hill, but I am for Clash. And I gotta go with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Story-wise, it's gonna go to Riot Squad. But, Nia Jax and Shayna, they have the better win-loss all around. And, God, they've also had this tag team for like such a short while that I feel like they gotta make it last a little longer than a month. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm going with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
But
Yeah.
I'm going with Riot Squad. It fits the storyline, and I feel like the Nia and Shayna thing was just a placeholder until there was a little more room for them to move around, and I think that there's only so far that they can go. So I've got to go with the Riot Squad. I think that this is perfect for their storyline, for them to suddenly get this, the physical embodiment of their, or material embodiment of their blossoming friendship once more. So we now have Cesaro and Shinsuke versus Lucha House Party, which was actually really difficult for me to choose in a weird way.
There's only one option for me to pick, both statistically and story-wise, and that's Cesaro and Shinsuke. Lucha House Party's gonna disband at Clash. And we can get into the other prediction if you want. If we want to make the prediction what duo will remain, whether it's Kalisto and Grand Metalik, or Grand Metalik and Lindsay, or Lindsay and Kalisto.
I mean, if you want to add that in, I would also add my prediction in, so
Right.
Add a stipulation. What is your stipulation, Marcus?
I am adding, it will be kind of bold, but it's going to be Kalisto and Lindsay being walked away from by Grand Metalik, and then Lindsay will get tired of Kalisto probably right after Clash, take off his mask, and then leave.
Right, so I chose Cesaro and Shinsuke to win, and I'm going with the absolute opposite of that. I don't really know if it's going to be Lindsay and Grand Metalik or Kalisto and Grand Metalik, but I do not believe that Grand Metalik will be the one walking away.
Okay. Did I say what team I was picking?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said Cesaro and Shinsuke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see the Lucha House Party winning. If they do, it'll be goddamn out of nowhere. But Jeff versus AJ versus Semi.
This fits all my reasonings. Jeff Hardy. The only way they're gonna keep Jeff Hardy in the WWE is by giving him a title. And they're not gonna take it away from him like so soon after he got it. AJ's gonna lose here and then be dropped down to Raw. Sammy's gonna drop the whole fraud IC title story, motivation, whatever. And then Jeff Hardy's gonna do Jeff Hardy things and probably break his spine some more.
I chose Sammy. I feel like it's a chaotic decision.
Yep.
I need to see some chaos, and I need to see Jeff Hardy not talking nearly as much. So, Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel.
This is tough. I mean, my pick solidly is the Street Profits because they are the most dominant tag team in the WWE right now. But we are probably getting this matchup again for a reason. And that reason's either going to be Angel and Andrade finally split up, or they win. And the reason they would win is because they don't have Zelina with them. Or they'll think that. They'll think that the reason they won is because they don't have Zelina. But my prediction is still the Street Profits winning.
All right. So I didn't say that. I said Andrade and Angel will win.
A fair prediction.
I mean, it's the only other prediction that there is. Be weirder if I was like, Montez and Andrade will win.
Viking Raiders will win.
Iva, come back.
He's out of surgery.
He's gone for a year. I'm going with Andrade and Angel though, just because I don't know, man. I feel like they're due for something, and I feel like winning this title could lead to a fun little storyline of them being like, well, I won the title for us, or, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
And Zelina's not there to manage them, and they did really well last time, so. And finally, we have Bobby versus Apollo.
Again, ignoring my intuition right now, I'm going to say Apollo wins this.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to say
I guess
Apollo.
we really have, like, a head versus the heart going on here, because I voted with my head on every single one, and you're doing what you want here, I guess.
I'm not going with my head or my heart. I'm going with my ass on this.
Yeah, I chose Bobby. I don't see him losing the title. I feel like Cedric's going to pull some funky shit, and it's going to be nasty, and I'm going to be mad about it. That said, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 opportunities for drinks to be had. And there is 8 opportunities for us to be correct over the other person.
There was something I wanted to say. Oh, so I this is something I'm really curious about. With our predictions, how many defenses are there in our predictions, and how many transfers of titles are there? Because I have 2 defenses out of these 9 matches, which is very little for Clash of Champions.
I have Asuka retaining, Nikki earning, Drew retaining, Ro retaining, Riot Squad earning, Cesaro and Shinsuke retaining, Sammy retaining.
Well, that's not retaining.
I mean, he is the Intercontinental Champion, so. The rightful Intercontinental Champion. Thank you. I have Bobby retaining. So 90% of mine are retaining.
Okay.
There's only, I think, like 3 transfers.
That I feel like would be a more fitting program for Clash of Champions. But we'll see. Maybe we'll be shocked and I'll somehow win all 10. I hope.
If you win all 10, I deserve to be absolutely plastered by the end of the night. There's no way I'm getting out of that without, like, something.
If I win all 10, then it will be a goddamn disappointing Clash of Champions, because that would mean 7 people retain their titles. Which would be so boring.
We'll see. All right. Thank you for tuning in. We will be back on Sunday doing our Clash of Champions post-show. I actually might have a different setup by then, too, if I move my desk.
We'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Please join us. We will be doing the promo show on Wednesday after NXT, and we will be doing the Mike Romies on December 19th. Don't forget, mark it in your calendars. Marcus?
Alright. Thank you all for watching, as Liz already said. And if you enjoyed, please hit that follow button below. You'll be notified whenever we go live. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And follow our Twitter at the Pinfall Cast. Remove the pod. That's Twitter. We post whenever we go live then, as well as our picks for Fighter and Fight of the Night, in case you miss a night. And if you miss part of this podcast, want to check out previous ones, check us out on YouTube, the Pinfall Podcast. On there, we archive all of our podcasts there. And follow our personal Twitters as well. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And follow my personal Twitch, twitch.tv/Mark Cameron. And is that it? I think.
I think so.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you in 2 days for, what is it? NXT TakeOver? Yeah, NXT TakeOver. Just kidding. It's Clash of Champions. All right. See
you in 9 days for NXT TakeOver.
Oh, boy. All right. Have a good night, everybody.